Hey, it's going YouTube, this is SilverBeanie here, bringing you guys week 2 of the first ever season of the UBL. We have got our team builder here ready, and we are up against the Bullet Punch Club coach, UZIgunner. I apologize if I've mispronounced that, but UZIgunner, I think that's right. A link to the channel in the description will be included in the description. You know what I mean. But they've got a very scary team. You can see it on the layout, kind of chilling here. They did pick up a win last week. We are currently 0-1. We did fortunately lose last week's match. If you did miss that, definitely go and check it out. But they are 1-0, so they got a victory on their sleeve at the moment. But they have a very scary team. I've kind of noticed that their team is lacking in bulk to an extent. But we'll go over their team pretty quickly. So they are rocking Pikachu. They've got Pikachu, Infernape, Weavile, Decidueye, Nidoqueen, KreselleKey, Mega Blastoise, Uxie, Zygarde, 10%, Kangaskhan, and the Shuckle. So they've got a very interesting team. So we're just going to kind of break down, and then we'll go through our team and what we bring in, why we brought it, and so on and so forth. So up first, the Pikachu. Now Pikachu was his first overall pick, and when I saw that that was his first overall pick, I thought, no joke, I first thought, oh my god, what is this kid doing? He knows nothing. Like, I was just like, Pikachu? Round 1, things like Tapu Bulu are still around. You know, you had some crazy powerhouses, and he picked Pikachu round 1. I was like, okay. But in last week's episode, he brought it, last week's match, and it put in the work for him. So, but Pikachu could be tricky. It typically runs Light Ball. Usually would run Light Ball. Anything but is kind of just bizarre. It can get access to Fly. It can now also get access to Surf, like obviously through the in-game event. It also gives access to Extreme Speed. It gets things like obviously like all the it gets Thunder Punch. You get Volt Tackle. You know, it's got obviously Volt Switch. It's a really scary mon. And to prepare for it, I mean, to an extent, I'm not worried, because the only thing really is the fact that it's speed, and if you slap a Light Ball on it, it could actually do some serious work. But overall, I'm not too worried about it. But Pikachu is kind of a threat to an extent. But I have answers for it. But up next we've got the Infernape. The Infernape was the trickiest thing, one of its trickiest things to kind of work around. Infernape is very fast. It's got base 76 HP, 104 in attack, 104 in special attack, 108 in speed. So it's really good overall. It's typically run as a mixed attacker, typically. But you can obviously run it physically. If you want to run it special, you can do. In terms of bulk, it doesn't really have any. Base 71 in both defenses. It ain't really going to live a hit, but it has Iron Fist with that Mach Punch and the boost. You know, if you want to run that Thunder Punch, it could seriously put in the work. Typically, you usually run that Choice Scarf or Life Orb. That's usually a classic set for Infernape. Maybe if you want to run Choice Band for the Mach Punches. But Infernape can be tricky. It's difficult to prepare for because it can be mixed, and also Infernape is his Z move user, so I have got to keep an eye out for that. I've got to keep an eye out for those like Inferno Overdrives and, you know, Gigavolt Havocs if he runs the Thunder Punch or who knows what. So I've got to keep an eye out for Infernape. Moving on now to Weavile. Now Weavile was, I think, one of his MVPs in the last match. He came through with like the Ice Shards and the Icicle Crashes, getting the flinch right towards the end. He has been very fortunate with the Weavile, and Weavile for me is one of the hardest things I had to prepare for. The problem is with Weavile is it's very, very frail. Especially on the defensive side, it ain't living a hit, more than likely. Base 70 HP, 65 in defense, and only 85 in special defense. It ain't living a hit. Its speed and attack, off the chart. But it's kind of crazy. Typically, you usually run like Choice Band or Life Orb, so we've definitely got to keep an eye out for the Weavile. Knockoff is a guarantee, Ice Shard's a guarantee, and Icicle Crash is a guarantee. Pursuit, I'm expecting. But I'm not too sure, so I've definitely got to keep an eye out for that. But I do have answers for Weavile, and I'll go through those in a little bit. Decidueye is another big problem. It's got very good overall bulk. It's not very fast. Offensively, it's not too bad. It's got 100 special attack, 107 in physical attack. It's got decent natural bulk. It's very difficult to prepare for because the only thing really you can hit it with is, I think, Poison, Ghost, Dark. I think that's it. Maybe Ice as well. I'm Flying. Okay, so that's a fair few weaknesses. But it can be tricky. It sets up a Swords Dance. But Decidueye could be a tricky one. So we've got to definitely keep an eye out for that. Now, one of the biggest issues with this team that I was struggling to prepare for was the Nidoqueen. Nidoqueen is it's so good. Sheer Force, Life Orb is destruction. It has absolute destruction. Sludge Wave pretty much wrecks shop. It can seriously do serious damage throughout my entire team, and I don't have a Steel type, so we've got to keep an eye out for Nidoqueen. I expect Nidoqueen 100%. Like, I really expect Nidoqueen. It can set up hazards and stuff, so we've definitely got to keep an eye out for Nidoqueen. I'm really kind of worried about it, but again, I've got answers for it. Klefki, I'm not expecting Klefki. You know, it's got Prankster. You know, it sets up spikes, and if it wants to Thunder Wave me, it can, although I am going to be bringing Tufafini, as you see, so I don't really see that. Maybe play rough, but overall, I'm not really worried about the Klefki. I don't expect it. If he brings it, he brings it, but I have got answers for it, so I'm not expecting it, though. Moving on now, though, to the Mega Blastoise. So, the Mega Blastoise is kind of a scary thing, because it has Mega Launcher. It's got really, really like incredible natural bulk, which is really scary. So we've definitely got to keep an eye out for that. It's classically, you know, you've got your Water Pulse, your Ice Beam, your Aura Sphere. We are running Bulletproof Komodo, so Aura Sphere ain't touching me at all. So we have an answer. Things like, though, obviously this isn't one of his spinners, but we haven't got any hazard setters other than like Avantula. But I'm not too worried about Mega Blastoise. Again, I have answers. Uxie, again, there's another really problem. I don't really see the Uxie coming. More just maybe as a wall if he brings it. It'll be. I expect it more just like one of his defensive walls. But it can obviously set up like trick rooms, and it can set up, you know, screens, stealth rocks. It's got U-turn psychic. It's got some decent moves. Gets knockoff, so it can be tricky. We've got, but again, I'm prepared for it. This week compared to last week's team, I'm really prepared for this week, so I'm really confident. Zygarde 10%. Now this is an interesting one. He's very, very fast, not very good on the defensive side. Because of our Misty Surge, we do in fact halve the output to Dragon type moves, so we've got to keep an eye out for that. But I don't expect this to come. I really don't. It's not when I've got a Fairy type, and like, yeah, ground type moves can do some work. It's Thousand Arrows, you know. I just don't see it. I don't see it coming. Kangaskhan, now this is just regular Kangaskhan, not Mega, thank goodness. But Kangaskhan is another big problem. Fake Out, gets scrappy, so it can hit my Ghost types. It gets the Elemental Punches, Body Slam, Double Edge. It's scary. It's scary to deal with, but again, I don't expect the Kangaskhan, so overall I'm not worried. Now the one thing I'm definitely expecting, and one of the things that I'm actually more kind of worried about, purely just of taking down, not so much what it can do to me, but more so in its stalling, is the Shuckle. I am very, very, very worried about the Shuckle. Base 230 in defense and special defense. This thing is a bulky monster. It's only got base 20 HP, so it's going to die very quickly. But it's a monster, so I've really got to be careful. Hopefully we can get lucky and we can take this thing out as quickly as possible. As soon as we get rid of its item, which typically is usually a mental herb, the better. Sturdy is usually classically what you get, what gets put on a Shuckle, but we've just got to take this thing out as quickly as possible. It could be one of his potential leads, but I'm more expecting either the Weavile or the Nidoqueen as like leads. Shuckle is kind of just another one that maybe. Let's go over our team a little bit. So now we've discussed his team. Now we're going to go over our team. Now, huge shout-outs to Not Gay Fabulous for helping me out building this team. Shout-outs to you, thank you so much. But up first we have Destiny. Now, Destiny is the MVP for this team. It's the main. I built this team around Destiny. Destiny is obviously our Tufafini, finally making its debut. We didn't bring it last match. So Destiny is coming, in fact, this match. I thought it had a really good matchup against this team. And he doesn't really have anything that can really hurt me. He doesn't have really, like, his Steel type is Klefki and the Poison type being Nidoqueen. Really, I'm not worried about them. I have answers. So my plan for Destiny is to lead with Destiny. That is my goal. I'm leading with Destiny, especially if I see him bring the what's him call it, the Weavile or the Nidoqueen, which I expect. If I see them, Destiny all the way. We'll set up the Misty Surge turn 1. Turn 1, we use Carmine. I've specifically done his EVs so that we outspeed by 1 point Nidoqueen. Max Timid Nature or Jolly Nature, Max speed, not scarfed though. If it's scarfed, then we're in trouble. But I don't expect it to be scarfed. Typically they're life orbed. But a scarfed Nidoqueen, we outspeed it 100%. 100% of the time. By 1 point, so max speed is 140 for Nidoqueen, as is 141. Turn 1 we set up a Carmine. He hits me with a Sludge Wave. That takes us down to just shy of 50, just over 50%. In the following turn we hit Brine. That is a dead Nidoqueen. Does a minimum of 130 damage. Guaranteed. It is a dead Nidoqueen. Alternatively, we've got things like Ice Beam and Moonblast purely just for coverage. If we see that Weavile, ideally I just want to go straight for that Moonblast. I need to get rid of that Weavile as soon as get some serious damage off. So Destiny is my MVP. I'm really excited for this set, and hopefully, fingers crossed, it works out for us. Up next, we've got Scalio, our Komodo. Slightly different set this week. So this week we are running the Yachi Berry. This Komodo is specifically designed to take on the Weavile 1-to-1. We live an Ice will Crash guaranteed from the Yachi Berry. I've had to run a huge amount of defense, like in HP and defense investments in order for it to do this. But we guarantee live 1 turn. So if we get a free switch in into that Weavile, turn 1 we hit Dragon Dance, or even better, we hit Drain Punch and we just knock it out. It is guaranteed. There's a minimum of like 140% or something without barely any attack investments. Drain Punch, gone. That is a gone Weavile. Outrage is purely there for like just as coverage, and as long as we haven't got Tapu Fini's Misty Surge up, then we can safely go for Outrage. But obviously with the terrain up, Outrage does half the damage, so a little bit risky in that area, but it's purely just there in case we need to suddenly literally do some serious damage. So I'm really excited with this. Hopefully it's going to put in the work. Now Scorpio is our answer to the Shuckle. Scorpio being our Gliscor, it walls it. It cannot touch me, and I can do some serious damage to him. I can taunt him. That means hopefully no hazards, no screens, no encoring, no nothing. It is limited to like potentially maybe Infestation, which is typically what is usually one of the only offensive moves that they run. I think this thing gets knockoff, if I'm not mistaken. No, it doesn't. It does get Earthquake, which is crazy. But if we hit Taunt, then we're safe. Turn 1, we hit Taunt. That Shuckle is then limited. We knock off Earthquake. After a couple of Earthquakes, it's gone. It's out of there. It's not happening. And we have the Toxic Orb. Obviously, typically it wouldn't activate because of the Misty Terrain. However, if the Misty Terrain isn't active at the time that we have Gliscor out, then the Toxic Orb can come through, give us that poison, and then it stays. Once we have the status condition, it stays. The Misty Terrain doesn't get rid of it, and then we're kind of safe to continue. So again, this set is kind of done so that we can at least live some hits. We can also potentially like take on the Nidoqueen as well as the Pikachu, Infernape. So I've really kind of tried to cover as much as I can with this set. Up next we have Cresselia. Now last week Cresselia, rest in peace, did not put in the work that we wanted. It died very, very quickly. I think it was our first loss on our team, and it changed the game last week. It died to a crit, which unfortunately that's the RNG. It's Pokemon. You know, I can't be mad. It's a game. But it's just incredibly unfortunate, incredibly unlucky that he landed that crit. Because had he not had that crit, we would have lived, and the game would have been a completely different outcome. So this week, slightly different set. We're running a bit more investment into our special defense, so we're kind of evening out our defense and our special defense to kind of get us a bit more bulk. And we're running Side Shock, Ice Beam, still Moonlight and Carbine, standard set as we were before, but this time we're running Calm instead of Bold. So this thing is really helpful to take on the Mega Blastoise if he brings it. Plus, it can also take down the Nidoqueen. So Lunosis is really here to help wall, set up, and potentially sweep. Hopefully, fingers being crossed, we don't die to another crit. but I'm feeling confident with this. I'm very confident with Lunosis. So hopefully it will. We can put it in the finest of work. Second to last, we have Gasteric, our Galvantula. Now this is kind of almost one of our late game sweepers in a way. It doesn't set up at all really. It can set up the webs. It seems fairly slow, minus like the Pikachu if you max speeds because it's based 90. The Infernape, the Weavile, obviously the Zygarde. Nidoqueen, if he decides to seriously put some major speed investment into that. But other than that, his team's fairly slow. So Sticky Webs is there purely just in case we need it. Overall, we don't need it. I have no Thunder coverage, Electric type coverage whatsoever, purely because he has a Nidoqueen, he has a Zygarde, plus he has a Pikachu with Volt Absorb. And with all that, I don't really see the point in running a Thunder Electric type move. Plus he's got the Decidueye, so he resists it. I just didn't see enough reason to bring an Electric type move. So we're running, not Bug Bite, that's wrong. We are in fact bringing Bug Buzz. I just need to fix that, there we go. Bug Buzz, Energy Ball, Hidden Power Ice, and obviously the Sticky Web. So the Hidden Power Ice is to, like, it pretty much one-shots the Zygarde. It KOs the Nidoqueen. Then you got the Energy Ball, which hit 2 KOs the Blastoise. And the Bug Buzz does it almost, depending on the spread, but it pretty much kills the Pikachu, kills the Weavile. It does it's 2 KO to the Decidueye, but overall it just walls him. Plus we've got the Focus Sash, so we're guaranteed to live at least 1 hit. So again, depending on how much damage he does to me, I'm just smacking back, and because we're seriously fast, we're more than likely gonna outspeed and just destroy him. And last but not least, we have Lumiere, our shiny Chandelure, rocking the Choice Scarf. Pretty much the same set as last week. It's Flash Fire. Basically, this thing is almost designed also to wall the Infernape. And then we've got some coverage for everything else. The Energy Ball is there if we're like one-on-one against the Blastoise. We can just literally just body it. Psychic, Okos, and Infernape. Shadow Ball, just overall type coverage, and same with Flamethrower. Flamethrower pretty much killed the Decidueye. So overall, we are seriously covered, I think, in sets. Now, we have only got 2 physical offensive attackers, but we've got quite a lot of special attackers. So that, to an extent, could hinder us. But a lot of his mons are on the physical side, turns are bulky more than they are on the special. So overall, I'm not too worried. But that is our team, and I'm very, very confident with this team. We spent a good couple of hours building this, and we went through so many different sets and different scenarios, and I just honestly feel that this team, I'm very confident with this team. Last week I wasn't, although I was confident, I didn't feel battle ready. This week I feel battle ready. I'm very determined. I'm really confident we're leading with Tapu Fini, and we're just going to set up and hopefully sweep. If we get the opportunity, because Komao also, he barely had anything for my Komao, like, especially considering I'm holding a Yachi Berry. He has nothing. Play rough, maybe from the CRYSTAL. Like, we eat that. Like, we're max defense and max HP pretty much. So, I'm really confident with this team. Let me know your guys' thoughts. If you have any like suggestions, maybe you think I should have done a certain like set slightly differently, let me know, guys. Let me know. We're all here as part of the CRYSTAL Palosssands, and I really want to make you guys proud, and I really want to push and try and hopefully come out with a W this week. And I really want to go all the way to the championships. We have had a rough start, but we are going to come back, and we're going to come back hard. I'm very confident with this team, and hopefully we'll come out with a W. But match will go up tomorrow, guys. Thank you guys so much for joining us. I hope you guys did enjoy. Maybe you learned something. If you did, definitely hit that like button down below. Subscribe if you are new. But until then, guys, I'll catch you in tomorrow's battle. Take care, and I'll catch you next time.